Welcome, everybody, to day 30 of our epic adventure with the angels. With me, your host, Calista, angel healing founder and best-selling author of the Female Archangels deck and book. Today, we're going to be connecting with an angel, perhaps who has came in for you either consciously or subconsciously before, because this is one of the main angels of transition, of change, that helps us to connect with our loved ones, that helps them transition as they move from physical back into spirit to their new adventure, and also the angel that helps us to develop our natural mediumship ability so that we can really understand that there is no true death, that there is no true ending to life. It's only just a change from one form, one way of being to another. So let's take a moment to really drop in, detach from anything that we've just been doing, and come into angel space, angel resonance with Archangel Azrael. If you have his card from the deck, the Female Archangels, just bring it to your heart. If not, just placing your hands on your heart is perfect. Closing your eyes. And just take a few easy breaths, noticing as your breath comes in and releasing the breath, following its passage as it comes out. Just a really simple way of bringing us into presence, following the breath again as it comes in. And following it with your awareness as it comes out, as you drop into your body. And then take your focus down into your heart. As we invite in Archangel Azrael Most High, Angel of Soul Ascension, of Transition, the great angelic counselor, may you be here with us all. Infuse your presence into our being, into our space, bringing forward any teachings that you would like to share with us, as well as ways that we can connect with you. And if you are going through a lot of change right now, beautiful soul, then we ask Azrael just to be that ally, just to be that comfort and guide through this time. And so it is. Breathing in, feeling Azrael really come forward. He has huge wings, big energy, big presence, and he often comes forward in a really peachy, can go from peach to rose gold to even dark brown and copper. This is his colors. Really feeling his light as we open up our eyes and welcome in this divine angel. And let me know if this is your first time tuning into this series and this channel. Let me know in the comments, and do feel free at any time to go back to, if you're just tuning in, to go back to day one and then take your time. Those that have been following along every day, we've spent 24 hours with each of these archangels and their divine feminine counterparts, the Archeia, which I delight in sharing their wisdom and teachings. But you can take your time. You can be with one angel for a week or a month or however long it just feels perfect for you. Because when we connect with our angels, it really is a personal experience. It is uniquely perfect the way that you connect with them while we're sharing techniques in these videos, their messages, their virtues, their crystal, often their plant allies as well. Be open to experiencing the angels for yourself, questioning them, getting to know them, journaling, meditating, self-healing, going on a walk with them, and just see what unfolds for you. Now, Archangel Azrael, one of his main symbols that you might see physically when he's around is crows. Is crows, especially if you see a group of crows together. That's often a sign that he is with you and he's helping you through change that's taken place in your life, whether it's a change of a belief and a belief system, or a relationship, or a true ending, like you are leaving the country or you're moving home. He's really helping you to move through that time with grace, and also just to understand that with every ending there really is a new beginning, and that life is cyclical. Through his perspective, at being one of the main angels of death, there is no true death. There is only dropping this body. There's only dropping the container as we move forward. And it is Archangel Azrael, or another one of the angel of death, because there is many, it's not just Azrael, and our closest angelic allies, our guardian angels, that are right there to assist us when it is time to graduate. I always like that term. The angels gifted that term many years ago when I began to start working with them. When we graduate, I love it. When we graduate this earth school, kind of lightens the perspective on death. When we graduate, our closest angelic allies, our guardians, are right there with us, as well as Azrael, or perhaps Uriel as another angel of death, to help us to understand the path that we are on, what's taken place. And I'm going to share something with you. He's pointing me in the direction. So, back in 2010 to 2011, I was a medium on a show called Ghost Hunter Psychic Investigations. Such a cheesy name for this show, but it was great. And we went around, myself and another medium. I don't really do mediumship now, not voluntary anyway, not conscious. But I did a lot of mediumship back then, and we guested on this show. We travelled all around Scotland and went to um, what was called haunted locations, to support the spirits, not only to connect with them, to prove their existence, to create this TV show, but also to help move them on, whether it was a fractal off them, a memory that was looping that other people were picking up, whether they were very much as an earthbound spirit in that specific location or part of the land. And it was Archangel Azrael that was present at every investigation, along with Archangel Michael. And if you feel like you want to develop your mediumship abilities, because really everybody can do it, it's just like a muscle that we have to work at and grow and develop and also trust. Then Archangel Azrael is so wonderful to help you not only to communicate with spirits of that particular area, but to help their energy, whatever fractal or part of them is stuck or is still part of the land or the home, to move on. And it really was in the field that I learned so much about life after death. Something that we've never, myself and the other medium, it's not something that we book learn, it's something that you experience. And I saw so much how that when we graduate, we go into, for want of a better word, a hospital, a rehabilitation center. It's the first level of heaven. There's many levels of heaven. And that first level of heaven really is that understanding what's just happened, especially if it's a sudden graduation. Also, it's a time to regroup, it's rehabilitation, reorganizing. Where are we going to go next? Where does our consciousness want to go? What wants to grow? And we saw it time and time again at every investigation that that's what was happening. And yeah, this angel, Azrael, can really help you to understand life after death. And if you've ever had a near death experience, really to understand that. Sometimes psychic abilities really start to switch on through near death experiences, because part of our consciousness slips into the spirit world, and we merge and we blend in that veil of amnesia that most of us go through as we drop down our consciousness to come into a physical plane. Part of that amnesia is stripped away. And I've seen it time and time again, clients and students who really switch on their psychic abilities and their mediumship qualities through these experiences. And you don't have to go through a near-death experience to really switch on those abilities. You can work, for example, with your guardian angels and with Archangel Azrael. Azrael is also known as the divine counselor. He can help to come forward when you're in a situation and you don't know what words to use to be sensitive, to be respectful of that other person, or your client is presenting something. Say you're a healer. I know there's many healers that watch this channel. Your client is presenting something that you've never experienced on the earth plane before. So to better place yourself in their shoes and their perspective, you can ask Archangel Azrael to come forward to help you to see their perspective, to help you to understand what they've been through, where they want to go, and how to move from where they are to where they want to go, how to be best supportive. Um, when we do angel healing, especially in the second degree, which is the practitioner degree, we go through a process called mental and emotional reprogramming. And it's Azrael that steps forward and really channels that part of the course, helping us to literally rewire specific ways of thinking in our belief systems so that we are not operating in the past. We're not operating from a place of fear or lack or abuse or heartache or grief. We come from a place of heart, we come from a place of purity instead. He really helps to resolve. And so, if this is something that you would like support in, just get in touch or just look below. There's an angel healing course coming up, or simply just connect with Azrael. Ask him, sit down in meditation or with your journal. How can I resolve X, Y, and Z? He especially is fantastic at aligning us from grief. And there is no time limit on grief, whether it is the transition, the graduation of a loved one that we're still carrying, or whether it's a grief over a relationship or a loss of a beloved pet. It takes time, and grief definitely does have stages, and I'm sure you're aware of that. I don't think any of us are immune to grief. But when you are ready, when you feel ready, and you're like, enough is enough. I've carried this for so long, for so many years. I am ready to let this go. I'm ready to empty it out of my heart space and just bring a new life. Say yes to a new beginning. Here is Archangel Azrael, perfect angel for that. Recently, there has been a lot of spirit activity, especially in this house. It's a 300-year-old farmhouse. I'm pretty sure it's older than that, but that's where part of it anyway is 300 years old, and it's and it's built on top of a crypt. So yeah, there is a lot of spirit activity. There's spirit groups that move through the house. There's a lot of spirits outside that many people have seen in the land. And so it's very, very active. And recently, in the run up to working with Azrael, I've seen and heard spirit more, like uh, children running up and down the corridor. Last night, I had a series of faces presenting. Now, if this happens, friends, if this is like out the blue when you're working with Azrael, know that that's coming forward because he naturally amplifies our own ability to be that medium, to be that bridge between worlds. And if you are getting, for example, faces one after the other, like literally spirits queuing up, it's because they are seeing you. They're seeing you switched on. Your light is on, your antenna, your psychic antenna is on, and they're like, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to present myself. If you're not ready for that, just ask Archangel Azrael to come in and to clear that area. If you would like to connect with these beings, if it feels right for you, if it feels good, and you don't feel scared of that experience, you're actually welcoming it, then again, enter Archangel Azrael as your guide and your mentor here. So there's many different ways that we can work with Azrael. Let's look at his crystal allies. I have a few here. The first one is rainbow obsidian. This one came from Mexico. And rainbow obsidian is wonderful for Not only because normal obsidian tends to be such a grounding force that we can feel almost cut off from our psychic abilities and our sensitivity. It is really good for grounding, it's good for protection, it's good for shielding. But if you want to be grounded in your body, but yet still aware, still be receptive to spirit, to the messages that are coming forward, or if you're doing readings with someone or healing with someone, then a rainbow obsidian um, is really your ally here. I was about to say rainbow moonstone, which kind of acts in the same way, but rainbow moonstone is much more expanding out the crown, expanding out the third eye. I guess you could work with both of them in tandem. Rainbow moonstone, rainbow obsidian. The second specific Azrael crystal is this big fella that maybe you've seen in other videos because he often sits about here, and it is labradorite. And I used to have a holistic center where actually angel healing, the modality, was first created and registered, legally registered as the official modality in the UK and Europe. Now we're in New Zealand and Dubai and America. Um, from that center, and this beautiful crystal has been in every therapy session, every course. Um, not only because this crystal is very much a friend, but because labradorite acts again as that filter to allow the frequencies and the beings that you wish to connect with in, while still acting as a shield and a filter. And if I really feel like if labradorite was an angel, it would be Archangel Azrael, because he really does this. He's very, very wise. He knows what's a match to your soul, being the angel of soul ascension. And sometimes, there is a lot of beings out there. Let's not sugarcoat this. There is a lot of beings out there that don't have our best interests at heart, just like in the world. There's human beings like that. And we did a few courses together called Make Your Home Sacred. And there's a Make Your Home Sacred part 2 on my website. In fact, I'll link them down below on how to still engage with spirit, yet make sure that you and your home are protected and supported in the best way. And here we're not bringing in fear, but we are bringing awareness. We're not just saying everything's just love and light and I'll put out there I only want to attract with this frequency. While that while that gets us so far, then we have to come out of that love light bubble and understand that there's all spectrums. Okay, source can be a rainbow, source can be a muddy puddle. Contrast brings growth and change and learning. Um, so yeah, Archangel Azrael really helps us to understand this, but we can employ ways to make our home and our space amplified and switched on without engaging unwanted energies. And there's ways to do that. So I'll put those 2 workshops down below and you can get the replays if they so resonate with you, friends. So they are the main crystals. Also, amethyst in there is fantastic for just honing your mediumship abilities. Um, and there's so many now, there's so many psychic development workshops. We used to host them in the center that I ran. And actually, the very first ones, I was a student. And the woman that came in was a spiritualist medium. And gosh, I think I was 17, maybe younger than that, because our family, many of the ancestors were spiritualist mediums or healers or midwives. Like this has been a really strong theme throughout our family. And we would often go to spiritualist churches, not religious churches, but very much believing that there is life after death. And there was a panel of mediums. And one of the mediums that I remember from my childhood and also as a teen growing up was this beautiful woman called Mary McNulty. I'm actually going to let this video be dedicated to her because she's incredible. She used to be a nun, and then she went off into spirit channeling, very much like myself, and away from cancer research science into spirituality. We made that big shift. Yet Mary has such an incredible quality, and she led us through psychic development workshops, and I learned so much from her, because later in life she came to the shop. It was an amazing, I think I hadn't seen her for like 15 years or something, and then she began to teach, and she would bring forward different beings to support us from the angels, and also this beautiful leprechaun called McGinty. And I know that might be far out for many of you here, probably not, those of you who are tuning in, but McGinty was a leprechaun, and leprechauns, let me tell you, are very much real and support us to understand the spirit world, more so loved ones that have recently transitioned, because they still very much are tied to the earthly plane, just like leprechauns are. They are ethereal elemental beings. And yeah, we used to have this little leprechaun that would go around us and help us to connect in each of the classes, and it was just so much fun. Um, so yeah, do go out there, do ask Archangel Azrael to connect you if you're serious about psychic development, developing your mediumship skills. Hang out in a couple of groups, whether in person or online. See who attracts you, because it really has to be someone that you're on the same wavelength. Otherwise, you're not going to allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be real. And it takes a certain degree of courage and vulnerability to let yourself be open, because you have to feel safe with the guide. Um, so yeah, let me know if you would like me to do more videos on psychic development. Maybe we could create a series on that. But the first book, Unicorn Rising, in that book, there is exercises working with the unicorns, working with your inner being, to develop your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your claircognizance, your sentience, which 75% of the population are clairsentient. But I've seen over time most people want to be clairvoyant, yet they're holding a belief on what is out there, what is going to be in the what is out there in the unknown that I will connect with. Is there something sinister? There's not, but you still have to be aware that there is everything there in spirit world, especially in the astral realms, yet there is ways to navigate. And one of the best angels, again, we come back, is Archangel Azrael. But yeah, let me know if you would like that series, friends. And let's end Azrael's video with his blessing, taking it from the book. Also, there's an exercise called Reading Your Future with Azrael, which is pretty awesome. Okay, let's enjoy his blessing. So if you want to place your hands on your heart, and let's say this aloud 3 times with conviction. It is safe for me to lean into positive change, knowing my future is abundant and bright. It is safe for me to lean into positive change, knowing my future is abundant and bright. It is safe for me to lean into positive change, knowing my future is abundant and bright, and so it is. Hope you enjoyed this video, friends. Do like and subscribe to get notified of the videos, and let me know if you would like a series with probably Archangel Azrael channeling most of it on psychic development and mediumship skills. So much love.